This is what your budget should look like. There's no mention of Maori.
Right there is the fundamental problem with Maori. Maori think they are special. They are not. We are all just settlers here in New Zealand. Whether we arrived by a ship or a canoe makes no difference. We all came here from somewhere else. We're all New Zealanders. Article 3 of the treaty affirms this great truth. Maori became British citizens. As a consequence, before the law, Maori became equal with everyone else. In 1840, New Zealand society was levelled, Waititi. Biculturalism vanished. The 540 chiefs who signed the treaty wanted this. So Waititi, in talking arrogantly and constantly about Maori being special, is showing his unbelievable ignorance of our history and the treaty. Come on.
Within vote health, vote education. Hey, let's look at Matatini.
He says there's no mention of Maori in the health. Maori getting unbelievable amounts of money in health, and he says there's nothing in education. Our education system is absolutely marinating in Maori culture and Maori language. In fact, our universities are becoming the laughing stock of the world because Maori knowledge and Maori wisdom, so-called, is being promoted. Just mythology, myths and legends, is being promoted as science. Mataranga Maori, which is Maori science, and it's not science at all. It's just myths and legends.
I've seen recently, and you will know about this, some controversy in New Zealand around the use of Mataranga Maori, which is, a te ao Maori or Maori worldview in science here. You know about this. You've made some comments about this. What are your thoughts on that?
What I would say about that is, if there is value in the Maori view of the world, then let it be taught worldwide. I mean, scientific truth is global. It doesn't belong to one country. So Navajo myths or Norse myths, Thor's hammer, I mean, these are all things which are interesting to be taught as myths. If there's any value in Maori myths, then it must be worldwide. There can't be truths that are only true in New Zealand. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, this will be controversial. Your comments right now will be controversial in some sectors here where there is a desire to incorporate more of the view of the tangata whenua, the original people of New Zealand. Does that worry you that you might find that these comments are very controversial when you come here?
It doesn't worry me at all. I mean, what I would say to people who object to what I've just said is, do you think that Maori myths should be taught in America? Do you think Maori myths should be taught in Britain, in Russia? And they will say no. But in that case, they're not worth teaching, because if they're not true worldwide, then they're not scientific truths. They're mythological truths. And that's fine. There's certainly a valued place for teaching mythology, but teach it in mythology classes, not in science classes.
Yeah, so you say keep those two things very separate.
Yes, unless there's something in Maori myths which is scientifically valuable, in which case tell it to the world, not just to New Zealand.
It's religion. And international students are not coming to our country anymore because of all this, because we're becoming a laughing stock of the world. So he's wrong that there was no money. No money's been given to Maori for health and for education, but let's keep going.
You're patting yourselves on the back for that. Matatini was given by Labour $38 million. You have given it $48 million over 3 years, which is less than the annual receiving of Matatini.
Matatini is the dance festival they have. Every year they have kaupapa dance festivals. What does that tell you about National, by the way? They're absolutely promoting and fueling Maorification and co-governance still. And so he's complaining that 15 million is not nearly enough for Maoris dancing around on the stage. I want you to pause the video and study the document on the screen right now for a moment. Take a photo of it with your camera. I want you to send this photo to all your friends, all your mates, and everybody you know to show them something that's crucially important. You can see that in the coalition agreement, the parties agreed to not advance any policy which gave any one culture different rights and responsibilities on the basis of their race and ancestry. That's what it says. National
Clearly, they breached the coalition agreement. Why is New Zealand First and ACT and the media not pulling them up about this? Come on.
It's less. It's less. It's $16 million a year over 3 years. This is what you are proposing. But if this budget reflected our population, that's what your budget should look like. We want by Maori, for Maori, to Maori, kaupapa. Not by Pākehā to Maori. We've had enough of that. Because the problem is, here is your problem. You have created the colonial trauma, the colonial violence, and what you do is then you reward yourselves by ensuring that you fund yourself on the trauma that you have created amongst our people.
Okay, so his big theory is that colonialism has traumatized Maori. He doesn't realize that colonialism was the greatest thing that has ever come to Maoridom. Sarapa Rananata would agree with me. Sarapa Rananata said this: "Let me acknowledge first that in the whole world, I doubt whether any native race has been so well treated by European people as the Maori." There you go. It doesn't get much clearer than that. And he's the most Maori of all Maori, the smartest Maori that's ever lived in New Zealand. A lawyer, a politician, and a highly respected senior citizen of New Zealand. And yet Waititi would trash him, and all the activists today are trashing him. Shame on them. That no people group in the world has been so well treated by Europeans as the Maori people. Waititi doesn't realise that colonialism has been an incredible blessing for them. Roading, health, education, medicine. He's wearing European clothes. He drove to the parliament in a European car. He lives in a European house. The roads, the infrastructure, everything was provided. When the Europeans arrived here, the only tracks in the bush were goat tracks. That's an absolute fact. Just a walking path through the bush. Maori had to walk everywhere or go by it with a walker. That was it. No electricity, no running water, terrible sanitation, unbelievably bad sanitation. Maori life expectancy was in the 20s, now it's in the 70s. And he's complaining about colonization. Truly, he is in a parallel universe, this guy.
I want to listen to this. You have created the trauma amongst our people, and then you have the cheek, the absolute cheek, to think you can rehabilitate us.
So he says, we've been traumatized by colonialism. There's absolutely no research, no facts, nothing. Solid research, peer-reviewed research that Maori have been traumatized. The only literature out there that Maori have been traumatized by colonialism is basically written by activists. And there's no actual research anywhere to support his claim. And there never will be, because it's just a myth. And then he says that colonials have tried to rehabilitate Maori. Well, this speech, ironically, is showing why Maori need to be rehabilitated. They don't study history. They talk nonsense. They're living in a parallel universe, their own little bubble. And actually, you know what? The prison populations, male and female, the number of children in Otamariki, he's really shooting himself in the foot, because just about every negative social indicator in this country, Maori get the gold medal. But he says, we don't need rehabilitating. We don't need any help. We're doing amazingly. We're wonderful. We're an incredible group of people who are just absolutely flourishing and blossoming. Of course, this is just spin. It's absolute nonsense. It's fantasy. And yet he believes it. Okay, that's enough for today. We'll do another part tomorrow. What I want you to get from today's video, recognize that Maori use complaining as a weapon. They bring it out of the sheath often. In fact, all the time, because they've seen that it works. It's a strategy to control people. They have worked out that complaining reaps big rewards, huge rewards. They've been doing it since 1840. Politicians cave into complaints, not gratefulness. Being grateful doesn't get you anywhere if you're an activist. Maori should be funding their own cultural festivals, not the taxpayer. The other 159 cultures fund their own festivals, so why shouldn't Maori? By funding only Maori, National is spreading the seeds of racism and apartheid, treating one culture with favour over all others. There is nothing in the treaty to mandate this behaviour at all. In fact, Article 3 of the treaty mandates that all citizens were made equal. That's a fact.
Gratitude is not in the Maori dictionary. I have never in my life heard a Maori be thankful for anything. Truly, anything. Not even when they're given large amounts of money and large payouts. There is no research basis for the claim that Maori were traumatized by colonialism. It's a complete fantasy idea. Maori activists portray themselves as a delusional group living in a parallel universe. They're living in their own bubble, which is divorced from reality. Their end game is not 50-50 partnership with the government, not at all. Their end game is to take complete control of New Zealand. So don't be fooled when they talk about, oh, we just want to be around the table with you. We just want to come alongside and be equal partners with you. That is a ruse. That is not reality. That's not what they want. Don't be fooled. See you tomorrow.
Please share this video with everyone everywhere. The mainstream media should be reporting on the issues I am raising in these videos, but they're not. Why aren't they? Well, they're corrupt. Why are they corrupt? They are collaborating with Maori activists. There's no doubt about that. In the final analysis, the people of New Zealand, that's us, have ultimate power, not the politicians. Did you know that? The people can kick out the people in power and they can put them into power. How are we going to do that? Well, awareness is the key to change. If enough people in New Zealand become aware of the issues I am raising, we can save this beautiful country. So share these videos everywhere so that come the next election, we can vote the right people in and kick out the people who are destroying New Zealand.